Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Sofa. I'm Monja and again joining me tonight is Susan. We love our clan stories and have a whole section on the website dedicated to them, along with many blogs, photos and features. There are over 500 clan and family associations registered around the world, and we love learning new bits of history and learning from our customers how they explored their heritage and traced their roots. We are by no means experts, we're just keen to share information. We love digging into the often bloody and brutal stories, highlighting the lesser known bits of Scottish clan history and the work of the clan societies around the world. So please don't hesitate to let us know if we get anything wrong or if you have any more to add.
Okay, thank you, Monja. MacFarlane is actually our clan of the month for May. Every month we choose a clan and celebrate their history, castles, famous faces and carry out an interview or two with interesting people from the clan or society. We always welcome your input, so if it's your clan's turn this month and you have some stories to share, then please do let us know. It's so intriguing to hear the journey of Scots overseas and how they ended up there, along with how you continue to celebrate your heritage in so many different ways. This family is famous for their turbulent past, so we'll be taking a deep dive tonight to find out what this boisterous bunch got up to over the years. MacFarlane is the anglicisation of the Gaelic, which translates to the son of Parlin. It's thought that Parlin is a version of the Latin equivalent of Bartholomew. Not much is known about Parlin. There's little contemporary evidence to suggest that he even existed, but it's thought that he lived during the reign of Robert I.
So Parlin's son Malcolm MacFarlane was granted the first charter of the lands of Arrochar above Luss, made out to a MacFarlane in around 1344. So this was granted by Donald VI, Earl of Lennox, and it's said by some that Malcolm was therefore the true founder of Clan MacFarlane. So a couple of different versions there.
Yeah.
So the home of the MacFarlanes is Arrochar, between Loch Lomond and Loch Long. The clan descends from the Earls of Lennox, but there are some debate to the actual origin. Some believe that the original Earls of Lennox were Anglo-Saxon, descending from, so excuse my pronunciation here, so Arkell's son of Egfrith, is that right?
Egfrith?
Egfrith. There we go. I apologise if you know how to say that properly, do let me know. So a Northumbrian chief who fled to Scotland actually during the time of William the Conqueror. Others suggest, however, that the Earls of Lennox were originally of Gaelic descent. So again, a bit of debate there.
Yeah. We do get many tricky words on this, so
Yes.
do bear with us.
We cover a lot of different languages,
Exactly.
so I do apologise.
So there's probably more to come. So either way, Clan MacFarlane claims its descent from the Earls of Lennox, who were given the lands of Arrochar, which was then held by the MacFarlanes for centuries until the death of the clan's last chief. Today, most MacFarlanes in Scotland can be found in Perth and Kinross. There are also many MacFarlanes in Ireland, the USA, and Canada, Australia and New Zealand. So
Far and wide.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Earl Duncan of Lennox was executed by James I in the late 1300s, meaning the earldom was up for grabs. 3 families came forward to claim it, including the MacFarlanes, but eventually it was awarded to the Stuarts of Darnley, and they took up the position in 1488.
So initially there was some dispute between the MacFarlanes and the Stuarts. It seemed that some MacFarlanes were murdered and the family's fortunes were drastically reduced. However, it all died down after some time and the MacFarlanes remained loyal to the Stuarts, who then held the title and the estates of Lennox. A member of the MacFarlane clan, Andrew MacFarlane, even married Barbara, the daughter of John Stuart, who had been awarded the title of Earl of Lennox. Thus, the two families were inextricably linked moving forward, so I guess that sealed their friendship in the end. So the MacFarlanes were particularly noted for their frequent nighttime raids on the cattle of neighbouring clans, especially Clan Colquhoun, with whom they had an ongoing rivalry. They carried out their raids under the light of the moon, and so full moons became known locally as MacFarlane's Lantern. which almost sounds a bit romantic.
Yeah,
if it
I
wasn't
think that's quite nice.
all
Sounds quite
about
good.
thievery.
Yeah.
So Michael MacFarlane, who's president of the International Clan MacFarlane Society, actually told us a great story about the time someone stole cattle from the MacFarlanes. So after being captured, he was told that if he revealed where he'd taken the cattle, this gentleman would be spared from being hanged. So when he returned the cattle, the clan proceeded with the hanging. So of course the gentleman questioned this and was swiftly told that yes, he had avoided being hanged because of returning the cattle, but they still had to go ahead to prevent him doing it in the future. So not quite sure if you count that as a lie or not, but yeah, so a little warning there for anyone thinking of stealing from a MacFarlane.
Yeah, don't
do it.
Don't is the answer. When the MacFarlanes weren't pillaging cattle, they also got involved in some of the major battles of the time. In 1544, MacFarlane led 300 clansmen into battle at the Battle of Glasgow Muir. They lost the battle, but the clan was saved from ruin by their rich friends. It's quite nice. 3 years, very kind. 3 years later, in 1547, the MacFarlanes suffered more losses at the Battle of Pinkie Cleugh, which took place on the banks of River Esk near Musselburgh. So not too far from here, I guess.
No, quite close.
The last pitched battle between Scotland and England before the union of the crowns. The clan chief Duncan was killed there along with many of his men.
So they were led into battle by the chief's son Andrew a year later at the Battle of Langside, and here they fought under the regent James Stuart against Mary Queen of Scots. The battle was a colossal defeat for Mary, and it said that the only one man on Stuart's side was lost, while hundreds of Mary's men were killed. So quite a landslide win there. So Andrew was awarded a crest by the Earl of Lennox for his part in the battle, bearing the motto, "This I'll defend." So the direct line of male chiefs died out in 1866, and there hasn't been a clan chief since, which means that Clan MacFarlane is actually armigerous, so that means that the name is registered with the court of the Lord Lion, but doesn't actually have a recognised chief. So maybe one day in the future someone will come and claim the title.
There will be a chief. The MacFarlane motto is, "This I'll defend." And the clan crest shows a demi-savage brandishing a broadsword and pointing to an imperial crown. 2 different plant badges have been attributed to the clan, which are cloudberry and cranberry. With 7 different tartan variations, there's a MacFarlane tartan for everyone. The MacFarlane Modern is a great option for those looking for something a little less traditional, as it features monochrome black and white. The ancient, modern and weathered tartans all feature reds, which will stand out from the crowd, whilst the MacFarlane hunting tartans, both ancient and modern, feature a dominant green to act as camouflage, if you want to
just blend in.
Hide from anyone. The MacFarlane black and white variation is the perfect style choice for those who may feel a little apprehensive about introducing tartan into their wardrobe. The monochrome design is perfect as it works with a multitude of colour schemes.
Nice and easy to slip in. So as we mentioned earlier, the ancestral lands of Clan MacFarlane are in and around Arcar, which is in the heart of today's Loch Lomond and the Trossachs National Park. So Arcar is a pretty village that sits at the head of Loch Long and the Cowal Peninsula in Argyll and Bute in the Scottish Highlands. So the area was the seat of Clan MacFarlane for over 5 centuries. That's quite a long-standing seat there. So in 1697, the first part of Inveroy House was built in Arcar by John, who was the 19th clan chief, and you can still see a stone over the front door today to commemorate this date. So the house was later named Arcar House, and it's now the Claymore Hotel, if you're ever up that way and looking for it.
Yes. Not far from Arcar is Inveruglas. It sits on the northwest shore of Loch Lomond, and you can see Inveruglas Isle from the bay. Once upon a time, on this island sat the castle, which is the seat of Clan MacFarlane. So there we go. Today the castle does lie in ruins, having been destroyed by Cromwell supporters sometime between 1649 and 1660. You can visit the castle and the island by taking a boat trip.
Very nice.
Yeah. Elanavow is a small island, sometimes also called Elanvow, in Loch Lomond, which also homed a castle which was built as a replacement for the ruined Inveruglis castle. There are a couple of stories about where the name comes from. Some think that it comes from the submerged rocks that lie under the water close to the island, and the original form of the name was actually Island of the Submerged Rock.
Which would make sense.
Yeah.
So, although the castle was still inhabited in 1724, by 1814 it had sadly fallen to ruin. So, Elanvow Preservation Fund has been set up to support archaeological study and preservation of this historic site. Luss is a little village on the banks of Loch Lomond, and although it was once home of the Colquhouns, one of MacFarlane's fiercest enemies, this is actually the burial place of many of the MacFarlane clan chiefs. There are memorial stones dedicated to some of MacFarlane's greatest chiefs, which is well worth a visit if you're looking to feel more connected with your MacFarlane heritage. So you can learn more about Luss and all of Clan MacFarlane's ancestral homes on the Tartan blog.
Okay, so we're going to move on to some of the famous faces of Clan MacFarlane, so that you can see if you recognise any of these. So first up is Seth MacFarlane, best known as the creator of Family Guy, which has been running since 1999. Seth MacFarlane is an American actor, writer, producer, animator, voice actor, filmmaker and singer. So yeah, quite a lot of skills there, multi-talented chap. As well as Family Guy, MacFarlane is the creator of the TV shows The Orville, American Dad and The Cleveland Show. He was also the writer, director and star of the film Ted, and was nominated for the Best Original Song Oscar for Everybody Needs a Best Friend from the film. Yeah.
So next up we've got Eve MacFarlane, who is a New Zealand rower and was born in 1992. So she represented her country at the 2012 London Summer Olympics, making her the youngest New Zealand Olympian at those games. She became the women's double sculls champion with teammate Zoe Stevenson in 2015, but came fourth in the semi-finals for the 2016 Rio Olympics, which meant she narrowly lost out on her place in the final. So after returning to New Zealand and a battle with depression, she founded, along with friend and fellow rower Jonathan Nabbs, she founded How We Found Happy, which is an online platform, book and podcast.
Oh, okay. So then lastly we are going to talk about actor Colin MacFarlane, who was born in 1961 to Jamaican parents. He's been appearing in films and on TV screens since 1985 and is best known for his role as Gillian B. Loeb in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy, although Outlander fans will also know him as Ulysses, a regular character since season 4. There we go. So that rounds up our famous faces, and we're going to chat a wee bit now about Clan MacFarlane societies. So if you are a MacFarlane and would like to get involved with your clan, then you are in luck, as there are 2 Clan MacFarlane societies to join. International Clan MacFarlane Society was first founded in 1911 in Glasgow and London, and later re-established in 1973 at the Grandfather Mountain Highland Games in North Carolina. Since then, the society has grown into an international organisation with members worldwide, all proudly celebrating their Scottish heritage. There's also Clan MacFarlane Worldwide, which incorporated on the 4th of July 2010 in Kansas, USA. Clan MacFarlane Worldwide's mission is to explore, document, preserve and share the history, heritage and traditions of ancient Clan MacFarlane. Okay, so we're now going to move on to some stories from our customers. Throughout the month, we've been asking people to share their stories, and we've picked out a few of our favourites to share with you.
So first up, we are hearing from another Susan.
Not me.
Not this Susan. And her wedding. So Susan wrote to us and said, I was born in Scotland, but moved with mum to the northeast of England when I was a child. My dad lives in Glasgow. When Peter and I married in Otterburn in 2016, I wanted our wedding to have a Scottish theme, including tablet favours. So it seemed a perfect idea to use MacFarlane tartan, as this is the clan the name Miller originated from. We used the tartan on favours as tithes for the groom and the men of the wedding party, but my favourite was the shawl I wore. I loved wearing it as much as I can, and still do now, as a reminder of a beautiful day and my heritage. Both my parents appreciated the gesture, and my dad went as far to mention the Scots beating the English at the Otterburn Battle in 1388. It's a good piece of history from Susan's dad there.
Exactly.
So I do remember Susan seeing a few photos from your wedding actually, and did you not feature a bit of MacFarlane?
Yeah, my husband's his kilt was weathered MacFarlane.
Oh, lovely.
And my dad had MacFarlane modern because he is MacFarlane. His tartan is MacFarlane. So we had some tartan, and we also trying to think about sort of Scottish things. We named all of our tables after Scottish descriptive words for the weather.
It's a very creative idea. I quite enjoyed that.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so secondly, we are hearing from Heather MacFarlane. And she tells us, when I was 3 years old, my parents took me to the Highland Games. According to my mum, as we were watching the Highland dancing competition, I said, "Mummy, I want to wear a number." She was thrilled that I was interested and signed me up for lessons that summer. My first competition was when I was 6 years old, and I've been dancing competitively ever since. My competition kilt is the dress purple McRae tartan, which I chose purely because it's a beautiful tartan and I love purple. I just recently completed my Highland Dance Teacher certification, that's brilliant, and will be starting to teach up in the summer. My mum is a Johnson and my father is a MacFarlane, and this ancestry has always been important to our family. We have visited our ancestral lands on several trips to Scotland. As a kid, I learned that the full moon was sometimes called MacFarlane's lantern, which we chatted about earlier, as they used to steal cattle by moonlight. The Johnsons used to hide their stolen cattle in the Devil's Beef Tub near Moffat. It's interesting. So I thought all cattle in Scotland must be stolen. I'm really proud of my Scottish ancestry, and I'm honoured to maintain my connection to it through dancing and music. Dancing and my heritage have given me such a wonderful community here in the States. That's nice.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of questions now. First is from Carleen, who asks, what other clans were loyal to the MacFarlanes? So, as we spoke earlier, the Stuarts became quite close with the MacFarlanes, and then the MacGregors were also allies as they went to battle against Clan Colquhoun together.
Okay. Susan has asked, another Susan, why are there so many different tartan variations?
So there are moderns and ancients. The moderns are usually a brighter, darker colour. That was because of chemical dyes being introduced around 1860. And as we mentioned earlier, the hunting tartans usually replace the main colour of the tartan with green or brown, more as like a camouflage when going out hunting, which gives you quite a range of variations across different tartans. So Kyle Dawson, president of New York City Tartan Week, has a question for the clan as opposed to us. So Kyle has asked, will the clan be marching during the parade in 2022? So if you're up for it, do let us know, let Kyle know as well. We'll definitely be there and we'll highly recommend it. So thank you for joining us on the sofa. So next week we'll have another interview with one of the clan society, so watch out for that. But in the meantime, if you've got any other questions or any stories, please do send them in. Thank you.
Thank you.